Hello and welcome back. My name is Betty and we're going to be covering my series on making a jointed teddy bear out of fur, and today we're going to be covering the pattern pieces and how to put them together. Okay, as you can see, I've cut out all the fur pieces, also the muslin which is used to back all of the fur pieces. I've cut out the ultra suede for the foot pads, for the paw pads, and we're ready to put them together. Before we start sewing, I want to cover the sewing machine and some of the things to have on hand when you are going to sew the bear. I have an older machine which I'm using. I don't use a good embroidery machine. You want to use either a commercial machine or an older sewing machine that you have for heavy duty sewing. Also, I am using a leather needle which goes in here, obviously because I'm sewing leather, and I've been using this polyester thread which seems to be working quite well. I'm going to start sewing on the legs. They're easier. What I've done is, as you can see, I've put the muslin to the fur and I've made my marks. Now what I'm going to do is back the pieces together, and I'm going to start I'm going to put them together with these pins. These are very sharp pins that I use, and what you want to do is you want to hold your leg up with your pieces together to make sure that they're straight, and then you start pinning. And I usually start at the top, and what I do is I push the fur in as I go along. You want to make sure that as much of the fur as possible is inside of your seam allowance. And this takes a while to do to get it done correctly. Again, it's time consuming, but we want to make sure that we have all the fur inside and that the muslin is to the outermost edge. Make sure you push as much of the fur in as possible, because when you turn it to the right side, you want to try to make it look seamless. In other words, to where the fur covers the seam. You can also push the fur in as you're sewing. You'll see that I'm using my little pick here to push the fur in as I'm sewing. You'll see that I've skipped between these two areas, and this is the opening where we're going to turn the bare leg right side out. Again, try to get as much fur as possible in the stitch area. And I always back stitch to make sure I have a very strong stitching where I'm going to be turning the bare right side out. Okay, the left leg has been stitched, and the next item I'm going to attach is the foot pad, and I will be pinning this all the way around and then stitching it.